Welcome to Sports Talk with Kefuwe, and I'm your host, Kefuwe Mahlangu. Now today I'm joined by one of the country's best goalkeepers, but I feel like he hasn't had the chance to actually, get a lot of games under him. I think he'll be one of the great goalkeepers, but we'll see. Now let's talk to the man. He's played for Chiefs, he's played for Sundowns. He's still playing for Mamelodi Sundowns, and he's played for SuperSport United, and he's even played overseas. So welcome, Mr. Reyaad Pieterse. How are you?
How are you, my brother? Thanks for having me. I'm truly grateful and blessed to be part of the show. I have your YouTube channel. Very excited. So let's go.
Yes. Okay. So please tell us. Growing up, where did you grow up, and how was life growing up for you?
I grew up south of Johannesburg in an area called Ennerdale. Life was wasn't, now I won't say it was difficult. Obviously my parents done what they needed to do in terms of work. We were fortunate enough, both my parents were working, looked after us, gave us every possible opportunity that we could have, myself, my sister, and my brother. So it was an important lesson for us, growing up, not having everything that we wanted, but we had everything that we needed, which was the most important thing for us. And it's been a tough journey, especially with what's going on now in the world, but we have to keep working hard, keep striving to be better each and every day. This virus or this pandemic has given us time of self-reflection. Obviously the lockdown, when we had spent time at home, it was good in a way. Obviously it was difficult for some people. For me, I felt like, this just came at the right time for me in my life. Of course, with it being difficult, like I had to self-introspect on my life, my career, how things have gone, what I was doing wrong, where I can improve on. So yeah, man, it's been an interesting few years or couple of years, especially being in the football fraternity. It's been an interesting one, a lot of lessons to be learned in it as well. But yeah, enjoying each and every moment, step in my career, in my life, being a dad, getting married soon. So it's been an interesting journey. So very happy for that as well.
So what are the things that you felt that you had to improve on, let's say in your game or in life? What are the few mistakes that you felt that you had to correct through that self-introspection, where you're like, nah, maybe I'd have to improve this on my goalkeeping or do this? And maybe in life, what are the few things that you've had to change? Let's say in your personality, maybe you always got angry and you started finding a way of how to deal with that anger, or you anything of that sort.
Okay, so personally for me, I felt like I needed to stop being I wouldn't say a yes man, but just I felt like I just needed to learn to say no a lot more. I always, like, when someone comes up with ideas, I'm just yes, I like that idea, and not really looking much into it. Business, obviously looking to for life after football as well. So looking at things in how one can make money, how one can sustain everything that's been made possible, now. So I needed to look at, obviously, goalkeeping, where I was lacking. I thought, I need to lose some weight. So I went on a diet. Felt like I was a bit heavy, so needed to lose a lot of weight. Not a lot of weight. I was 95. I dropped down to 90, so that helped a lot, agility wise, so running, of course. So those are the things that I felt like I needed to change. I watched a lot of motivational videos. I watched a lot of goalkeeping videos, to try and stimulate my mind, to keep me going, to keep me focused on where I want to be, where I want to go, in terms of improving every aspect of my game, because every day is a learning lesson and a learning day. We always learn and improve and try and grow. That's the aim of life. That's what we need to aim to do and become, to become better people, to become, me personally, a better father, a better fiance to my fiance. So, it's all of these things that we need to look at and see how we can improve and grow. And for me, that was the the interesting things that I found out about myself, is that I needed to look at, and I need to look at things and how I can do things better, how I can be more assertive in life, on and off the field. Um, so those are all the things that for me has helped me improve, grow. And of course, I'm not where I want to be, but it's small steps that help you get into the right direction. Stop procrastinating. I say sometimes, okay, I'll jump now at 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock comes, I'm like, okay, wait, I'll push it down, maybe 12 o'clock. So I think it's normal, but to avoid all of that, like starting to practice what you preach, saying, okay, 10 o'clock is 10 o'clock, so yeah, those are all the things that I've had to work on, trying to make my mind stronger, because it's difficult to give. It's much more easier rather to give up than to keep going, especially when things are not really going the way you'd want them to. So the mind is the most powerful thing as well. So to try and convince your mind, or to try and think positive thoughts when things are not going the way you'd want them to, is difficult, but working on that's a powerful skill to have.
Yeah, so learned discipline, how to, and saying no. And a lot of people don't understand that learning how to say no is actually, it's the first form. A lot of people say it's the first form of self-love. So at least now you're starting to get to starting to take those steps. So especially with soccer players, and you raised another point where you spoke about how you guys deal with you having how you gonna start dealing with money and start thinking about the future. And that's very important, especially in South Africa, where we have a lot of footballers that run out of money. And I was speaking to Ethan Brooks last week, and I asked him what kind of things does he have in place in terms of investments, and he said he has a few people around him, and they're starting to help him with investments and whatnot. So is that the same for you right now at the moment?
Definitely, like you are, as a professional athlete, your career is very short. So short, I say short, plus minus 15 to 20 years, depends on how you look after your body. So with a goalkeeper, fortunately, we go a little bit longer, but that doesn't, obviously you need to prepare for life after football. So it's important investments, like I say, businesses where something that you enjoy, something that you think or you're passionate about. So those are the other avenues that I'm looking to go into. Obviously, it's not always the easiest, because people always understand that, okay, this is a footballer, doesn't read contracts, doesn't know much about the industry. So you get sidelined or sidetracked by all of these things that you don't really pay attention to. So it's good to have a team who help you, to focus on certain aspects. So it's very important, I feel. You don't want to be another statistic or number that after football this person is broke or dies broke. It's so sad to see that we've had so many talented players in this country that have gone broke or died broke, which is really, like, it's a scary number, and it's scary to see. But yeah, we need to look for ways in which we can always make money after, during football, which is the most important thing. Of course, we're not earning the money that the Premier League and La Liga is earning. Well, that would be lovely, but we need to look for avenues in which we can make money after football. And I always say, like, if you can find something that you're passionate about, then by all means, like, do it, go for it, because it's going to be something that you enjoy when you're not playing anymore. Obviously, this is what we love to do, and we're getting paid to do it. So what next? What's the next avenue or journey you're going to embark on?
That's very, very interesting that a lot of the things that you spoke about actually hit home, because with the La Liga and with the Premier League, they earn so much more. Although you guys are, I think you guys are right up there in Africa in terms of being paid, but yeah, it's not the same.
Nah, you can't compare it. You can't look. I mean, if you seen what Sergio Aguero did when he left Man City, I mean, he gave each and every one of the staff basically a watch, engraved watch, and then raffled off his Range Rover. So I mean, when you can do that, then you know you're balling. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, it's good to see. It's obviously we all aspire to be like that, to earn that money. It's nothing's impossible. I always say that nothing's impossible. Anything is possible if you work hard, and if you can dream big, why not?
Hard work also goes with dreaming big. Sometimes a lot of people don't get that you have to work hard in order. You dream big, but you also have to put in the hard work in order to get to wherever you need to get. And obviously you need a bit of luck along the way.
100%. There's some people that say there's no such thing as luck. I don't believe that. Like, you do need a little bit of luck in your journey. I always say, like, it's sometimes, obviously, hard work plays the biggest role in all of that. Hard work beats talent, but I always say, like, sometimes some things just, hopefully you hope that things just go your way, but that's also having a level of faith, believing that things will turn around and go in favor of you. So it all comes in handy. I mean, when you work hard, trust me, the luck automatically follows you. And it's so crazy. But I imagine if you didn't work hard, like, the luck wouldn't really be there. You know what I mean? So.
And right now you've just spoken about okay, now you have you have a child now, and then now you have a fiance as well. So how did that actually change your way of thinking or your life? Because a lot of you guys, especially as soccer players, you guys have a lot of groupies. So how did you deal with the groupies, and how did you know that she was the one that you would want to marry?
Firstly, it changed my life, like, because obviously before being a dad, before finding my my fiance, of course, like, you're selfish. You just think about yourself when you go shopping, when you buying anything, you're just thinking about yourself. Whereas now you can't do that. You're thinking more about, okay, is this going to benefit the family? Is this what we need? Do we need this, or is this just a want? You need to look at things like that. And of course, like, it's crazy how your mind automatically changes, because you have to you are the breadwinner, so you have to basically make sure that, okay, things are getting done. And also, how did I know that this was the right person? You never know. Like, I always say, like, you never know until you know. Basically, it's weird, but I just felt like I needed someone who brought stability in my life, who brought a vision, who knew what she wanted to do. So I found an amazing lady, who I'm truly blessed to have. She makes me truly happy. She's not the mother of my child, but she treats my kid it's our own, and to have someone in your corner like that, then you're winning, and I'm so blessed to have someone like that who really cares for me, who looks after our household, runs the household. So very fortunate and blessed to have someone like her in my life.
And okay, yeah, this. I actually wanted to ask you other questions, but as you kept on going on, I was like, "Hey, you're dropping some knowledge," and especially for now. I usually ask these questions, especially for, let's say, a young footballer watching or another athlete or whatever, so that they can actually learn, because you guys already
For
are
sure.
going through certain things, and they also have to learn. It's better to learn from someone else's mistakes than to actually make your own and learn from
Make your
those.
own. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I agree with you. And a lot of, especially in the professional industry, a lot of people doesn't, irrespective of the sport that you're in. I always say that we all go through similar journeys. Whether things are not going your way, out of form, things are not really happening for you. So it's important to share your story. I mean, someone might be going through the same difficulties or trying times or happiness, joyfulness, and you can share that moment, and they can feed off how you were feeling or what you were going through. And many people are going through similar journeys. I mean, I spoke to Kermit Erasmus just before the season closed, and it was so crazy that when he was in France, he was going through the same things that I've been dealing with or battling in my journey at Sundowns. And it's crazy that it was a fruitful conversation that we had. It was so inspiring and so motivational, like the things that I learned from him, because you always think, okay, yeah, Sikama Erasmus, wow, what a player, what a talent. You'd never think that he'd struggle in certain aspects, or you wouldn't think that he went through the journey that he did. But to speak and learn from players that's been in the game for so long, that has achieved so much personally. So I always feel that it's good to network, it's good to learn, I always say it's good to learn and to grow and to improve. That's what I said in the beginning as well. So never feel like you're alone. People are always going through a similar part that you are going through, and sometimes someone just needs to hear that, yeah, you know what, it's okay to go through this. It's okay that things are not happening the way you want them to, but eventually, like we said, with hard work, dedication, it will come. All I always say, this too shall pass, meaning that whatever you're going through, whether it's good or bad, it's never going to last forever. So just hang in there, keep doing what you've been doing, and this too shall pass.
It's very interesting. And okay, is there anything that you learned from Kermit that you can tell us about that? Oh, I've learned about this, or from that conversation.
So personally, like, I just, from that conversation, obviously he was going through a patch where he wasn't playing, where things weren't going the way he wanted, and he was frustrated, but he knew that he was working hard, doing well in the team. And I felt like, sure, I've been doing well, working hard, you know, um, being hard on myself, basically. And but that was the journey that he was going through. And as a professional athlete, you always think, okay, I'm the only one. I'm waking up, coming to training. You fighting all these demons in your head, but you never know who else is going through. And so many other athletes are going through the same thing. Just no one ever knows about it, because no one really talks about it. So for me, that was very inspiring and motivating, just for him to tell me that, my boot, just don't worry, it's okay, just keep doing what you're doing. Eventually something's got to give. Your hard work is not for nothing, so just keep going, pushing yourself. don't stop, because the wheel will turn and things will just start happening for you. The luck we spoke about, it will happen. Things will just automatically go in your favor. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's interesting and it's crazy.
Yeah, and who's this? John, I forget. John Tlale said that he feels like you should move actually from Sundowns or go out on loan, and then so that you can get some game time and prove yourself. Because he says you're one of the most talented goalkeepers. Seeing that you've even gone, you went from Bidvest, which I'd like to talk about, and then Nike Football Academy, Shamrock Rovers. You even went to Kaizer Chiefs, Super Sport, and now you're playing for Sundowns. He says the quality is there. He says he feels or he thinks you should move like Percy Tau, go to Witbank Spurs, not a Witbank Spurs, but a lesser team, especially in the PSL. Prove yourself, get some game time, and then you can come back and be number one there. What do you think about that?
Look, I always say, and I say game time is the most important thing. If I look at Ronwen Williams, starting from very young, the games that he's played, obviously, there's a debate on who's Mzansi's number one, between him and Itu. But if I just look at the games, he's done extremely well, very well. But that's what game time does. If I look at Veli Motwa at Amazulu, Veli's had an amazing season. But again, I say game time. Game time changes so much. It gives you a lot more confidence when you're actually going through things each and every game, each and every day. So game time it's very important. And of course, I always set targets for myself each and every season. And sometimes it's sometimes you achieve it and sometimes you don't, about all the things that you thought wouldn't happen or you wouldn't go through. So that's why I say lockdown helped me a lot with introspection, setting goals for myself, achieving those goals, sometimes failing at the goals I've set, but not giving up and understanding, okay, I need to improve in this field. I need to work on that. So definitely with what John has said, I'm truly humbled by that coming from a legend like him. So definitely I would like to play more. That's one of my goals. I would like to have a good season under my belt, test myself, set goals for myself and try and knock them one by one. So definitely I would love to play. I have a good season under my belt and take it from there.
And it's strange that okay, now let's first start in the beginning, because now I was gonna ask you something else and then we're never gonna actually get to the beginning of
Sure.
yeah, but I will ask you that question. Okay, let me just ask you this question. Okay. We'll go there. I saw in one of the articles that said Pirates wanted you back in like 2014 and you said no.
No, that's a lie. That's a lie. Pirates, I don't recall Pirates ever being interested, or if they were, they never ever spoke to the agency that I was with at the time. And I don't recall ever speaking to either Ivan Koza or Screamer.
Wow.
So yeah, that's something I'm unaware of and that I don't know of. So yeah.
Oh, so that one is it's false. And anyway, this is the last transfer rumor that will clear. Or the who's this Super Journal or Molefe? I saw one of his tweets and then he had quoted an article saying that you had wanted to get away from Sundowns because you wanted game time.
Yeah, look, I do want game time. If it happens to be at Sundowns, I'll be the happiest person in the whole wide world. And if not, like at the end of the day, there's so many quality goalkeepers, let alone Sundowns in South Africa. There is so much quality at Sundowns' disposal. So to be complaining or moaning or whatever it is, you can't be doing that. You know, people are working hard around you. Everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to be the number one. Everyone wants to be playing week in, week out. So it's tough competition that is good. You know, it's, I enjoy your Jody February. So it's for me, it's I enjoy that so much because I always test myself. I push myself to, and I do things that I never thought I could do. So I enjoy the competition, and for me, it brings out the best in me.
Can you please repeat? On my side, kind of was kind of fritzy a bit. Can you please repeat what you said
Oh,
just
okay.
before
So
Joe?
I basically just said that I enjoy the tough competition that there is. Like I said, there's so many good goalkeepers that we have in the country and in at Mamelodi Sundowns.
Mm.
So for me, I enjoy that because I test myself and I see how far or how good I am from the rest of the guys that we've got at Sundowns, which is important for me because I try and push myself and I surprise myself sometimes because there's sometimes things that I think that's not possible. I can't do that, but I surprise myself and I actually can do a lot of the things. So um, it's for me the competition is really good. I enjoy when competition. Of course, like I said, I'd like to be playing week in week out, but with the quality that we've got at Sundowns, it's you also want to make everybody happy. You have Dennis Onyango, who's arguably the number one goalkeeper in Africa. So that's the people that you're competing with, but that means that if I can push him, I'm getting closer to where I want to be, So I look at it that way, that I'm getting closer and closer each and every day with the work that I'm putting in. Of course, it's no one gets to see it because you're not really playing, but I believe that eventually my time will come and that I will be the number one and I can show off my talent.
Yeah, that like the saying, iron sharpens iron. You can only
Sure.
go against the best in order for you to learn
100%.
to a, to a certain level. Okay, so now let's actually get to the crux or to the start of your career.
Sure.
How do you go about joining Bidvest Academy?
Okay, so Wendell Robinson, who's the goalkeeper coach at Sundowns now, was the goalkeeper coach at Wits, and we played the engine tournament, and I was playing for a team called Unia. And we had Wits in the group stages, and I had a fairly good tournament. Obviously, our team wasn't the strongest compared to teams that are training every day. This is what they do. So he was like, look, come, why don't you come for a trial, and then we take it from there. And went for a trial. Things took a bit of, it took long, actually. I think I was on trial for 3 months, crazy enough. And yeah, like I just felt like, damn, I'm getting there. I'm getting the hang of it. We were training every day, whereas I was training maybe twice a week with my team. And I was like, okay, like I'm getting the hang of this, training every day, feeling what it feels like. Obviously, at the time there was good goalkeepers. I got the opportunity to train with the first team goalkeepers, who was Energy Murambadoro, Darren Keith. So I was learning all the time and I was enjoying it. And then I was in grade 11 and I got my first salary, which was 850 Rand. And I felt like a boss. Going to school felt like, very for doing to Bidvest Wits, who gave me the opportunity, and to Wendell as well for spotting me at the engine tournament and giving me a chance.
Oh, yeah, and Okay, so you felt like a boss with eight. Hey, I'd also feel like a boss. At least now you started earning a salary. You
Just
could start.
imagine like you in grade 11 getting 850 Rand. Yo, that 850 Rand lasted maybe the first week of school. But, I just felt like a boss that I was getting money. So, yeah.
Yeah, and it started teaching you a bit about saving because now you finished it in the first week, so now you
Definitely.
started.
Definitely. I needed to learn very quickly. My mom helped me a lot with that. My mom is like my financial advisor. So yeah, no, she curbed me a lot with that. My tuck shop, I made that tuck shop lady really, really rich. She had my 850 the first week. So I learned very quickly how to save.
And it's strange. Also, Ethan Brooks, his mother is very actually involved in his career, and
Yeah.
he also his mother advises him a lot. So yeah, so mothers are really they're out here doing a lot in terms of guiding us as
True,
people.
they come through for sure. No, definitely. Hey, like my parents, I'm so fortunate, my parents are always, they've been hard on me from day one, and like if I wouldn't change it for anything.
No, I couldn't hear you for a bit, to be honest. Um, Let me.
Is it my side or is it your side?
I actually don't know because my connection is usually very very. I actually have very good connection. I don't know what's happening. Yeah, can you please repeat?
Sorry.
Can you please?
So I was basically saying that I'm so fortunate enough to have both my parents who have been hard on me from day one.
Mhm.
But if it wasn't for their help, I probably wouldn't be where I am today. Them being hard on me, I said that I wouldn't change it for the world. Um, they've been instrumental in my growth, in my journey, and I'm so grateful to have both my parents guide me and help me and show me the way, show me the right and the wrong, um, teaching me about respect, humility.
Mm.
So yeah, very very fortunate and grateful to have both my parents teaching me those um, good ways in life, in this journey.
And so, how's your relationship with your father? Um,
I have a very good. He's my biggest critic and my biggest supporter. My dad is very. He's the hardest on me. Like I get away with a few things with my mom, but my dad is. Yeah, I have a very good relationship, and I think it's all it is just love. He loves me, and he obviously just wants the best for me. So he's very hard on me. Like if I consider goal, to go visit him is difficult because it's always my fault. I'm always like, yeah, but the defense maybe could have helped, and he's like, no, it's you can do better there and there. So very sometimes it's difficult, obviously, because you already know once you've conceded a goal,
mm,
you're not, or you've lost, you don't feel good. And
mm.
now you still have to go to this guy who's going to hammer you even more. But I guess it's part and parcel of the love that he shows. And it's obviously, he shows it because he cares and he obviously wants the best for me.
Mhm. Could you say that's those are one of the ways that he shows he loves you? Maybe sometimes, especially with let's say with fathers, they won't straight out and tell you, you know what, I love you or whatnot. But him
Correct.
critiquing,
Correct.
uh, doing those certain things is him showing that he actually cares and he's there for you.
For sure, it's tough love, but it's good. Like as a man, sometimes you need that. You need that firm people being hard on you, because in this world, like no one's just gonna be like nice. Especially, people are gonna hammer you. Social media people are gonna
Mhm.
tell you what they think of you. So, like to have that form of criticism, it's important. You grow from that, you learn from that, and that's what you need to become a man as well. Tough love, sometimes you need that. Can't be pampered all, like my mom pampers me all the time, but my dad he shows me tough love, but I need that.
Oh, so do you think now that's where the perfect balance comes in, because one is soft and the other one has a bit of a hard hand, so it kind of actually meets in the middle to make for an
Yeah,
actual like a good person in society.
yeah, I believe that. I feel like I've not given them a reason to be to not be proud. I've always worn my heart on my sleeve. I do the best that I possibly can, even if I'm not playing. Of course, they would also love to see me playing more football, but they support me, they love me, they show me that they care as well. So for me, that's the most important thing.
Okay, so is before we get on to the next topic, how do you deal with mental health, especially with social media being around? How do you deal with your mental health? Because with Naomi Osaka, she spoke about her mental health and how it was, it's, I mean, interviews actually affected her, but how does it affect your mental health? Let's say you have a good game and everyone's on your case, and let's say you have a great game and everyone is with you. Do you kind of find a balance where you're like, I shouldn't care too much about it, or do you care a lot about it? So how do you go about it?
To be honest, I don't really like that. Doesn't affect me. I don't really read a lot of newspapers, or I don't have Twitter because reason for that is, like, I just feel like, like these social media platforms. Of course, we in the industry where people are going to
Mm,
get at us, or say whatever they want to say, which is, I mean, you can look at it, you don't have to look at it. Me personally, I don't, because I know for myself if I've had a good game. I know for myself if I didn't do so well, so I don't need anyone to give me credit or praise when I've done what my job requires.
mm,
And of course, I don't need anyone telling me that you're not good enough and stuff like that. So it's like I said, I don't really read much into that. I don't really, that doesn't affect me. Like, I'm not affected by social media. Of course, you're going to get people that hammer you on social
mm,
media, and it's normal. It's the industry that you're in, and you have to suck it up and prove them wrong. you know
mm,
so yeah, that's how I look at it.
mm. Okay, so how does the move from Bidvest to the Nike Football Academy come about? Because now at least you're earning money at Bidvest, and then how does that move come about?
So Nike were having this global trial. They had this thing called the Nike Chance, which was giving people, well, footballers, an opportunity to make it into a professional team. And so from they selected 30 boys around the country, obviously, that were not yet professional, but obviously they saw talent. So they selected 4 boys from South Africa. We had trials at the Soweto Nike Center, and from the 4 boys, we then went to London. We joined 96 other boys from around the world who
Mm,
were all looking to get a professional contract. And I was so fortunate, myself and Jonathan King. We we were the 2 boys from South Africa that were part of the Nike Chance team
mhm,
that stayed in England for a year. And what the initiative was, basically, we played a lot of games against a lot of big teams.
mhm,
So every game we played was basically a trial game for us to get a professional contract. So the boys, some boys, one of the boys is actually playing for Celtic in Scotland now, who is arguably one of the biggest teams in Scotland. So Rangers and Celtic. And then there's another boy that was in the MLS that was part of our team. That's still doing very well. So basically, that was Nike's initiative to give people an opportunity, or professional soccer players an opportunity to get a professional contract. And I was fortunate enough to then we played against the champions of Ireland in Shamrock Rovers. And the coach after the game, we lost that game, but after the game, the coach was like, "Look, I see something in you, and I'd like you to come for a week of trial, and we take it from there. We'll see, do your medicals, and see if everything's okay, and then take it from there." And luckily, luckily and unluckily, luckily that I was fortunate enough to join one of the biggest teams in Ireland, and unfortunately, the coach got sacked 8 months into his job, because the results, obviously, they're a big team. They had just played the Europa League the season before, so there was a big hype around Shamrock Rovers doing well, and things obviously weren't going the way we would have wanted it to go. So management then decided all the players that the coach that was there, Stephen Kenny, had brought in, basically is released. So I had to then come back to South Africa.
Oof, that was hard. Okay, so how was life in England, or especially in the UK? How was it? And obviously the weather is not the same, but how was it living
Yeah.
there compared to South Africa? And when they released you from your contract, they did pay you, right?
Yes, they did pay me. Life in England, it was good. It was good. They really took care of us. I'm so grateful to Nike for that opportunity, for opening the doors for some of us that probably maybe wouldn't have made it, maybe would have. We don't know. Again, we speak about the little bit of luck that you need. So I'm truly grateful to Nike as well for giving us this opportunity. Um, so yeah, so left left Shamrock Rovers, had to come home. Devastated, of course. Like, that was one of my dreams, to play overseas. Um, Obviously, it's not now England, but still to be in a foreign country earning foreign money. Wow, I was like, damn, this is what I would love.
Mm.
But obviously, I was 21 years old, being away from home, alone in a foreign country, don't really know much, didn't have all the money that I needed. I was sending some money home as well for my mom and my dad. Um, so it was difficult, but man, I wouldn't change it for anything. I enjoyed each and every journey that I encountered, whether it was in England, whether it was in Ireland. I enjoyed it. I learned. I grew. I started to become a man at a very young age because I was alone as well. So for me, I needed that in my life.
Ah. And so, okay, so now you come back home from England, and once you come back home, I mean from Ireland, once you come back home, so now what happens? Do you get a new agency, or do you get a new agent and then you go to Kaizer Chiefs, or how does the move to Kaizer Chiefs come about?
Okay, so the move to Kaizer Chief comes about before. So with Nike and Chiefs being sponsored by Nike, and Sundowns at the time was also sponsored by Nike.
Mm.
So what Nike uh, did for us was allow us to train with. They allowed us to train with Bidvest Wits. They allowed us to train with Kaizer Chiefs and Mamelodi Sundowns. Um, and from the training sessions, Reiner Dinkelacke was the German goalkeeper coach at Chiefs. He was like, Bobby, I really like this boy. Like, I wouldn't mind if we could sign him. So before we headed off to England, Bobby already said to me, like, the goalkeeper coach is really impressed with you.
Mhm.
If things don't work out that side, like, you have a home. And to be fair to him, yeah, he stuck to his word, and he gave me a call when I came back, and gave me the opportunity to sign for Kaizer Chiefs, and that's how it all started for me.
Ah, it's strange that you've played for all these clubs that you actually were trading for.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's so crazy, man. I tell you, like, man, I've been so blessed, to have got all these opportunities. Of course, like I said, I would love to have played more for Kaizer Chiefs, for Super Sport. even for Mamelodi Sundowns,
Mm,
but I believe it's yet to come. I
mm,
believe I've worked really hard for this, for this opportunity. So I believe it's still yet to come. Just have to be patient, have to keep believing, have to keep the faith, because I believe like this hard work will pay off eventually.
mm. So, what kind of uh, okay, let me first start with Chiefs and Sundowns. So, what is the difference between the the dressing room, or what the culture around the football club? What is the difference between the culture at Kaizer Chiefs and the one at Sundowns? Because Sundowns seems to be doing something right.
It's a good question. It's a very good question. To be honest with you, I must I must say, man, I'm so fortunate because at the time Kaizer Chiefs
We're
were
winning.
in their prime. They were winning. They had so many international players that were representing Bafana. There was Itu, there was Shaba, there was Yeye,
Hmm.
there was Bernard Parker, there
Yeah,
was Eric
Gatla as well.
Mato,
Was Gatla still there as well?
Siboniso.
Yeah,
Yes, he was.
yeah.
Siboniso was there as well. So there was so many stars at the time, and Chiefs were just, they were talking about that moving train that no one can stop,
Mm,
the moving train, and to have a coach like Stuart Baxter as well. Wow, like that was they were just unstoppable, and being there at that time, man, to win the trophies, um, to learn from all of those big names, in South African
mm,
football. That was it was that was the team to be or to beat at the time, And now right now Sundowns have the best team. For me personally, I think in Africa, I felt like we were a bit unfortunate
mhm,
against Al Ali. Um, but leading up to the Al Ali game, I just felt like, nobody can beat us. Like this team is
mm,
so good. Like honestly, this in each and every position, there was two or three top. Um, I would say international players in each position.
mm,
So still to be part of a team that have so many good players, being in the Bafana setup as well, the training sessions, you see how good the guys are and how good they keep the ball, and being in Sundowns as well, the level is just as good.
mm.
Guys don't really give the ball away. They keep the ball. They know how to protect the ball. They know how to get fouls. So, man, the level is so high that just to be part and parcel of this group of players, it's a dream come true. But the levels at Chiefs at the time with Stuart Baxter, with there was about 7 players in the national team, and if I look at Sundowns now, with including the foreigners, the amount of good players that they have at their disposal is amazing.
Yeah, okay. Let me ask you about the coaches, right? Pizzo and Baxter are gonna go head to head. So, and you've played under both of them. So, what's the difference between both of them?
Yeah. Pizzo is a winner. He's a born winner. He knows how to win. He's a good he he plays with your mind, especially from the opposition. He's very good at that. Sir Alex, I think he learned a lot from Sir Alex Ferguson because he was very good at that. Stuart Baxter was, for me, he's been the best coach that I've ever been coached by, hands down. Like he's
Mm,
so good. He's so good. Coach Rolani is also up there. Coach Mangoba as well. Coach Steve also very good. Um, Good leader. Um, Good man manager. Very good man manager. Stuart Baxter. Um, he's a good tactician. He knows how to get the best from players. So yeah, for me, Stuart Baxter, hands down, by far, by far.
But a lot of people would disagree with you because, I
That's
mean,
personally for
yes,
me.
yes,
No, of course, you know, like I said, just for me personally, for my growth, for
Mm,
me personally, this is,
mm,
I'm talking about myself, what
yeah.
I enjoy in a coach, how I learn and how I grow individually for
Mm,
myself. Like Stuart Baxter, for me, like I would enjoy coming to training sessions because I would learn so much every day. He's such a good coach. He's like a father figure to, at the time, like I wasn't even playing at Chiefs, like I just joined,
mm,
but I enjoyed training so much. And maybe also because I was new. Um, so I felt like he took me under his wing, kind of,
mm.
and yeah, he was just so good for me. I learned so much from him. Just man management skills. He was the best, the best, the best, the best.
And so, how did you feel about, okay, when Pito leaves, then now you guys have three head coaches? How have the coaches been managing that, especially with you guys in the dressing room? Do you guys know that all three of them are the coaches, or sometimes when there are three head coaches, sometimes their heads might butt, or do you guys see any of that, or is it just you guys respect them all and that's just how it works? The difference between having Pito as a solitary head coach and having three head coaches, what's the difference there, and the dynamics?
Look, of course, when Pizzo was in charge, he was the boss, and you knew he was the boss. He made it clear that he was the boss. But he was a winner. He knew how to win. Um, having Coach Rulani, Coach Mangova, Coach Steve, I wouldn't say it's been a change because like they just have a winning culture. There's like we play to win. That's what it is. We play to win each and every game, whether it's a friendly game, whether it's in training. Like the competition that we have is so good. So I don't like. I wouldn't say there's a big change. Of course, like I say, all of this information that I'm sharing with you is personal. This is
Yes.
how I feel.
Mm,
And yeah, like to have Coach Steve, they all bring a different dynamic in the team, which helps the team to win. I mean, I felt like we could have gone this whole season without losing. That's how good I felt this team that they built is. So yeah, it's to have these three coaches. They all bring a different dynamic into the team, and it's so beneficial for the team. Coach Rulani, Coach Steve, Coach Manova, been really good. I think we've actually, I think we could have done a lot better, and I thought we done very good this season. I thought we could have done even better. I really do. Like that's how good I think the team is.
so going up against Pito Mosimane, especially in that Al Ahly game, what were you guys thinking, or did you guys think, as some of the other people thought, that he knows all of you guys in and out? As you said, that he likes to play with your mind. He knows you guys in and out, and he knows the coaches in and out. So a lot of people felt like he had the edge because in terms of mind games or mindset, he knew all you guys in and out, and he knew the players inside and out, bar a few players. And then he also knew the managers, how they thought in and out, because he's beaten all three of them when he was a head coach. Uh,
Yeah. So I personally feel like we played the occasion. We
mm,
didn't really play the game.
mm,
I felt like we could have done better, even though second half I felt like that's the first time I've ever seen us dominate in North Africa in
mm.
the second half. That was the best performance I've seen Sundowns play. Um, so I just felt like we played the occasion instead of the game. And I felt like if we played the game, we could have given them a tougher first half. Because that's where they started getting a lot more confidence. But like I say, Coach Pizzo is, he's a very good, he's a mastermind. Like he knows how to get under your skin. He
Mm.
knows how to get the best out of you. And just he's a hard worker, man. I give him that. Like he's a hard worker. He works extremely hard. and I respect that about him. And everything that he's achieved up till now, he deserves it. He really deserves it. He's worked really hard. So kudos to him. I give him a lot of credit for that.
Seems like wherever you've gone, you've actually won something. Especially when
Like I said, I've been blessed to have been in teams that have been able to win trophies and stuff. So I feel like God has favor over my life. That I've been at every team that I've been at has won a trophy or two or three. So I've been, like I said, I've been extremely blessed and fortunate, and I'm so grateful to have had this. Obviously, like I said, I would have loved to play more, um, but I don't take anything away that I've achieved and still to achieve. All of that, I feel like, is yet to come. All the goals that I've set is still yet to come for myself. But yeah, like I said, I've been so privileged. I've been blessed to have got the opportunity to play at such big teams and win trophies with so much pressure as well.
yeah, and especially you being so tall, you fit your typical mold as a goalkeeper. In South Africa, we don't have our goalkeepers usually aren't as tall as as you are. You can come
Yeah,
out and
no,
come
yeah,
out of the box.
they look. I feel like where we lack in height, we make up for it with agility. I feel like we as Africans really like are a lot more agile than the Europeans.
Mm.
Um, but yeah, like I always say like height doesn't really matter. If I look at Ika Casillas, Casper Schmeichel, I just feel like their positioning is very good. Um, so they get away with they can cheat a little bit, but their positioning is very good. And I guess look, when you're tall, you have your advantages and your disadvantages, and
Mm.
when you're short, you have your advantages and disadvantages. So it just I guess it all depends on the coach, what he prefers, what he likes, what he's confident with, and also the individual. For me personally, like I said, there's a lot of things that I feel like I can still work on and improve. So yeah.
Okay, this is a what made you play goal decide to be a goalkeeper? Because and not a lot of people love to be a goalkeeper. Everyone wants to be a striker or a number 10. Not a lot of guys want to be stuck in the post because hey, you guys live a very lonely
That's
life.
true. It's true. It's true. Not a lot of, but growing up, I like to be in goals. Like maybe when I used to play with my friends in the street and stuff like that. Like I always used to go in goal and try and make like an acrobatic save or whatever. And it brought a lot of joy to me. And how it actually started was one of my close friends was a goalkeeper,
Mm.
and he was very good. He would have probably been a lot better than me in 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 goalkeeping, but he was short. He was very short, and they said, I remember my friend's grandfather said, "Now we need a taller goalkeeper." So I thought, you know what, let me take this opportunity. I was a defender at first. I started off as a defender, was very ordinary, like a I would say I was an English defender, was tall, slow, would just kick the ball away and stuff. So they said, now we need a like a taller goalkeeper. So went for goalkeeping lessons, and it felt like, now okay, I'm enjoying this, and yeah, and it worked out for me. Good choice that I changed, and I don't regret it. I'm very happy. But yeah, it's a difficult position to play because you must remember only one man can play. Um, but also like it's just you. I always say that strikers can miss maybe 9 goals and score one last minute and get the winner, and then the hero. Whereas a striker, whereas a goalkeeper, you are limited to making mistakes. You can't make any mistakes because when you make a mistake, it's costly to the team. So your mistakes need to be very minimal. So yeah, I enjoy the position. I love it, to make those big crucial saves. That brings the biggest joy, and it's the best feeling in the whole wide world.
Okay, these are my last few questions. So
Sure.
for me, I felt okay. I've always thought that Peter would bring on Anthony Lafort when he needed to win. I always thought that Anthony Lafort was always his secret weapon. He knew that Anthony Lafort could get something really special. Did you guys also feel the same way?
Yeah, he I don't know what it was, like his nickname, we call him Snotty. Um, I don't know what it was with Anthony. Like he would just come on and score goals. Like he even made a joke the once to say like, I've saved Pito's job lots of times. He'll remind you about that all the time. But man, he used to come on and score. Like he'd be maybe injured and
Mm.
then come into the team and then like make the team tick and score a goal here and there. And it was like, yes, this guy is just on another level. Like, he was instrumental in Pito's like subs, like Pito would put him on at the right time. But that's why I'm saying Pito is so good. Like, you know, sometimes maybe as a coach you think, okay, this guy scored the last game, let me start him.
Mm.
But like he'll do something in the game that will spark the guys around him or whatever that is. So yeah.
That's a sign. That's one of the signs of an actual great coach because Sir Alex
100%.
Sir Alex used to always bring on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer at the right time. Or take
Crazy. Exactly.
Yeah, and my okay, this is like my final question for you. Who is the most talented player that you've played with or against? Let's start with with
uh
and against. Have a category for with and have a category for against.
okay, with, I'd say Rivaldo Kutsia. That boy is extremely talented. He is so good. He shouldn't be in South Africa. He should be. He's so good. Honestly, his technique, his technical ability,
Mm.
like he scans so much. He always knows what's around him. For me, he's the most underrated player, but one of the best players that I've played with. Players that I've played against that is uh, extremely technically good. I think Kurt Lankis is very good. I really like Kurt Lankis. He's a top player. From the top of my head, that whenever I'm like, yeah, those are two players that are at the top of my head.
Right. Can you please just it's Crit Lanky's end?
And Rivaldo Kutsia.
All right. Um, thank you very much for actually giving me your time, for actually giving us your time and me getting to speak to you. I've learned so much. And can you please tell the people where they can find you on Instagram? Because hey, you don't have
No problem. So, firstly, before I get there, I just want to say thanks to you. It's only been a pleasure to share my story, my journey. Thanks for making the time available, for setting all of this up, taking the time out to make this happen. So I'm grateful to you as well, just to have a bit of a laugh, have a bit of fun as well, be
Mm.
serious, talk about my journey. So I'm grateful to you. And then also to how you can find me is on Instagram and on Facebook, Reyaad Pieterse. On Instagram, Reyaad_Pieterse. Yeah, that's my social handles.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. This has been Reyaad Pieterse, and this has been his story. And it's been so great to actually have him on the show. And yeah, you guys need to keep on watching the show, and we're gonna get more of our South African footballers because I think that we South African footballers rarely, or even South African athletes as a whole, they rarely get to tell their stories until they've retired, and which is very sad. You don't get that in America. You don't get that in Europe. You only get it in South Africa. We don't get to hear the full story from the actual player. And yeah, something that I'm trying to change. Thank you guys very much.
That's good. Thanks, bud.
Thank you very much.